Bubba.
His homies call him Bubba.
Oh, did you guys, first things first, you see this? We're going viral. The Astros won their first World Series title last season. That's awesome. Everyone, we know that. It's great. So what do you do this season? Well, you have to unveil your championship banner. So this is how it was supposed to go. Everyone on hand, take it down, everybody celebrate. It didn't go that well. Take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2017 World Series Championship banner.
I don't think when they planned that out, you were supposed to say, now, who's got the leaf blower? You have a leaf blower? Who's climbing up the ladder 4 times? That's you? We're good.
I don't know if my favorite part's the leaf blower or that our wonderful producers at FS1, that video was all over the internet yesterday for going viral, right? Did you see whose Twitter feed we pulled it from?
No.
At Someone's an Idiot. That's what was on the screen right there. That account was at Someone's an Idiot. Now, that's not necessarily, I'm not familiar with the account. It doesn't sound very nice, but I suppose it's apropos. Listen, man, Houston hasn't raised a championship banner since 95 with the Rockets.
Some intuition comes to it. You know, you
Windy day.
get up there, comes down.
I don't know. What's up,
Isn't the baseball, isn't it inside?
Isn't what?
The baseball.
That stadium, it's got a retractable roof. I think the roof was open.
Okay.
It appears that it was open yesterday. They don't always have it open. Yesterday was a nice day. I think it was an open day. I don't know what was going on. They couldn't get it done.
Well, everyone had a good time with it.
The baseball team's better.
Baseball team's better than the ops
the
department, evidently.
Their unveiling department. Time for stories to start your morning. Villanova dominated Michigan last night 79-62 to take home their second title in 3 years. Wildcats were led by sixth-man Dante DiVincenzo, who dropped 31 points, took home the Most Outstanding Player award. It was a great season for Villanova. Nick, how was Nova able to dominate the Wolverines?
After basically about 15 minutes of the Wolverines playing their style of basketball, Nova started hitting shots, and it felt to me a little bit like Michigan went away from their game plan. You saw a few times, particularly early in the second half, Nova came down, hit a shot, and Michigan did what you can't do against this team. Take a quick bad shot. You take a quick bad shot against Villanova, you're drawing dead. You got to basically play a perfect game to beat this team when they're fully healthy anyway, and they got away from their game plan. And Cece, you brought up Mo Wagner, like, they didn't get their best player the ball.
Yeah, he should get more than 11 shots. He played 33 minutes. He dominated the beginning, the first 10 minutes of the game. You got to get him more shots than that. But also you have to look at the veteran players and Jay Wright, everyone deferring offensively to go to Dante. Like, we're going to run the offense through him. That was not the plan A. That was not plan B. But in this game, they decided that was the best thing to do. That's how Nova gets that win. It was great.
All right, congratulations to them. To the NFL now, Jimmy Garoppolo went 5-0 as a starter for the 49ers last season. That was more than enough for head coach Kyle Shanahan, who said he knew Jimmy G was their guy after just 3 games. 49ers gave Garoppolo a 5-year, $137.5 million contract this offseason. So, hey, hopefully 3 games was enough. So, Cece, what are realistic expectations for Jimmy G this season?
To get San Francisco into the playoffs.
Ooh, playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the question was. What's the expectations, Chris?
Right.
Chris said get them to the playoffs. Like, absolutely. Get into the playoffs. You look at the competition they have in that division. Look at Seattle. Seattle's coming back to the field. Arizona's in transition, looking for a quarterback with a new coach. Yes, absolutely. San Francisco should have their eyes set on the playoffs.
Man, if they were in the AFC, I might agree with you. I think fair expectations are getting to 8 wins, maybe 9 wins. The one team you left out in their division is, I think, an excellent team in the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, I know they're the best. I thought the fans would know that.
Okay.
I mean, you got to give them some credit.
Of course.
They're getting up in the morning at 6:30 to watch a sports show. Hey, the Rams are pretty good.
Fair enough. In order to get a wild card in the NFC, I think you're probably going to need, like you did last year, 11-plus wins, and I think the Rams are better than them. So I think you can have a successful season in San Francisco without making the postseason. You got to keep in mind, up until Jimmy G took over, this was a team that was competing for the number 2 pick of the draft before they went on that 5-game winning streak. I think 8 or 9.
How many games did they win in a row? Just in the season?
5 straight games.
Yeah, after you win 5 straight games, you're thinking about getting into the playoffs.
Okay.
An NFL team.
All right. Hey, how important is a good night's sleep? Very important if you're Klay Thompson, apparently. So in a recent podcast, Kevin Durant let us in on a little secret. Klay slept through practice the day before he went off for 60 points against the Pacers last season. Nick, how much more impressive does that make Klay's 60-point game?
And here's the thing. If you were to tell me NBA player's going to sleep through practice and his teammates are not going to be that surprised, not going to be that angry, and just laugh about it like, that's Klay, I would have guessed it was Klay Thompson. Like, Klay is what do you always say, CC? He's the coolest guy on the Warriors.
Oh, definitely.
The chillest guy on the Warriors, I might say. Listen, he talked about it in the podcast. I listened to it. He's like, we called Klay, and we're like, what happened? He's like, man, when I woke up, I was an hour and a half late already. I figured I might as well just get some more sleep. And then he dropped 60 points in, I believe, 29 minutes the next night. I don't think there's many guys in the league that can do that. Klay Thompson's one of them.
It's an impressive thing, especially because you know your schedule, and you get anxiety to be able to come out the next night. But I'm not surprised with Klay. I'm not surprised, though. Of all the Warriors, of their 3 stars, that was the one you said, I'm overslept, next night got 60. I've been like, that's probably Klay.
Yeah, the oversleeping is the context.
Yeah, KD would have had one of his Twitter accounts waking up.
Hey, finally, we're talking Tiger Woods. So the Masters starts on Thursday. The buzz starts today with Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson being paired together for a practice round. Tiger will be looking to take home his 5th green jacket. What are fair expectations, CC, for Tiger heading into Augusta?
I know Tiger Woods. The fair expectations for him would be to take home his 5th green jacket.
Yeah.
And the reason why is he knows this golf course. This is his favorite golf tournament of all. He's won it 4 times. The golf course sets up for his skill if he can hit his driver. Now, listening to Freddie Couples do an interview after yesterday's practice round with Tiger Woods. Tiger's made a couple of different changes in his equipment leading up to this event. He struggled with his driver. He struggled with his 3-wood as far as can he hit those things from right to left compared to hitting them left to right, because on Augusta, the par 5s, that's what you have to do. He's put a lighter shaft in both of those. Freddie said on the first tee, if you know Augusta National, he carries it over the first bunker, which is about a 305 carry. That was his first swing of the day. He said that's the most impressive ball striking that he's seen Tiger Woods in a long, long time. So hearing that, knowing how he's played, knowing inside how much they love this course, and be able to come back. This is not a comeback like his previous comebacks at the Masters. This is Tiger Woods is returning healthy. Yeah. He's not just returning to golf. He's played a few tournaments leading up to this, which I believe will get his nerves ready for the weekend. Tiger Woods should be the favorite at Augusta in 2018.
Listen, you pointed out the Fred Couples interview, so I listened to it. Hearing a guy that's obviously, I mean, he seems like he is something of a fan of Tiger Woods, but a pro, an all-time great. Talk about him in these terms is exciting. Now, I know his former coach, Hank Haney, came out and said, the idea that Tiger's even one of the top 10 favorites is ridiculous. There's some bitterness there in my eyes. When you watch what Tiger did over the last month, when you watch him come in second with a putt to force a playoff at the Valspar, that was a tournament he couldn't score in the par 5s, and he still did that well. Then you watched him the following weekend in one of the toughest fields, where dominate on the par 5s, and if not for an out-of-bounds shot on the 4th, the final hole of the tournament, he was potentially going to make a charge up the leaderboard where Rory ended up running away with it. But Henrik Stenson, right, Rory ended up being great. But at the time, it looked like Tiger could go get it. Cece, where are the scoring holes at Augusta, primarily? The beginning or the end of the 8?
On the back 9.
On the back 9. That's another reason this is great for Tiger, is because we know that Tiger's first hole of a tournament, first hole of a round, particularly first hole of a tournament, doesn't always go great for him. That first drive, first shot, if you blow an opportunity opportunity at a scoring hole early, if one of the easier holes is the first hole, that's not great for Tiger. But once he's in a rhythm, once you get to holes 14, 15, 16, he's in a rhythm, that sets up brilliantly for him. And CC, what you've talked about, his erratic nature with the drivers, Augusta's a little more forgiving.
Very forgiving.
Because of how wide the fairways are. Like, all these things, I know it's rose-colored glasses, but for all those actual golf reasons, I think he should absolutely be near the top of the favorites, if not the favorite.
Can you imagine if Tiger Woods, having gone through everything he's been through in the last couple of years, comes back to win his 5th Masters? Can you imagine what that would do for golf?
Yeah, I see what it's doing for golf. It's got us watching. When Tiger Woods shows up to a tournament, twice as many people are watching that event, and there is a reason. But, as Nick said, we're watching something historic here.
Yeah.
There's never been a PGA Tour player have a fused lower back, and that's where Tiger Woods is, and I expect him to win another major this year, and I'm hoping it's this Sunday.
Oh, that'd be so amazing.
Our new topic now. So at the start of the basketball season, the Warriors were the overwhelming favorites to win it all. Overwhelming. Now with injuries up and down the roster, not so much. According to major sports books, the Rockets and Warriors both have the same odds to win the NBA title. Both teams sit at 1 and 2 in the Western Conference, so that just adds to the drama. Nick, are these teams really that even?
Well, right now they're not even. Right now the Rockets are better than them. Right, just listen, right now the Rockets played 41 games with their best 3 players, Harden, CP3, and Clint Capella. They are 39-2 in those games. To beat the Rockets in a series, you're going to have to beat them 4 times. Assuming those top 3 guys are playing, you're going to have to do something in a 7-game stretch that has not been done, it's been done half as many times in a 41-game stretch. But what this tells me, because this was shocking to me, that I saw that the general Vegas sportsbook consensus now is Rockets-Warriors, even odds. Depending on where you shop the line, it could be a little different, but basically even odds. What this tells me is Vegas thinks what Chris Broussard thinks is the case, what Chris Carter thinks is the case, and what I have dismissed as a possibility, that the Warriors could possibly get got in the first round. They are baking that into the number, that the Warriors, without Steph Curry in the first round, that the Rockets might not have to beat them. Because what the doctors are telling is that Steph should be fully healthy come round 3 of the playoffs. We know that Durant and Clay and Draymond Green, those injuries are not ones you're worried about a month from now. I don't even think they're really worried about those injuries right now. Clay is back. I mean, their guys are back. What this is telling me is, because I do think if the Rockets and the Warriors face in the Western Conference Finals, Vegas would say the Warriors are favorites whether they should be or not. Vegas thinks, the public thinks, that the Warriors are vulnerable in round 1. That a series for them without Steph Curry, even with a healthy Kevin Durant, even with the rest of their roster, that they could lose in round 1, and they don't think that about Houston, and that's fascinating.
Right. I'm surprised for a different reason. I'm surprised that Houston is not the favorite more so than Golden State.
Wow.
I don't think that they should be even money. I know that Vegas is giving the respect to the Warriors, but Houston has been more consistent. Steph is out with an MCL. This is week number 2, and he could be out as much as 6 weeks. So, for me, even if he does come back, I know he's not going to be 100%. Now, when the doctor tells you come back between 2 and 6 weeks, he's talking about for a normal person.
Right.
A normal person, 2 to 6 weeks. He's not saying for you to be playing championship basketball, to be in a highly contested sporting event. No, that is not baked in there. So, I think Houston should be the favorite over Golden State. I don't think their odds should be even.
CeCe, do you think that Steph, whenever he comes back, is not that he's not going to be back to 100% this season? Is that correct?
There's no one else we've seen with the MCL. KD talked about it. Steph, when he had it last time, that first week to 10 days, they are not healthy. Like, they are struggling. We're talking about the competition, the intensity of playoff basketball. Let's not lose sight of that. KD was out 6 weeks, and they'll tell you, they did not come back healthy. Why would we think Steph would come back healthy? Like, this is not a matter of, oh, this guy's a fast healer. We're talking about a ligament to your knee, the MCL.
Right.
So I do believe he will be hampered throughout the playoffs.
I have a question. If at the beginning of the season we said the Warriors, coming off the last couple of years that they've had, we're going to go into the playoffs without Steph Curry, is there any doubt that they'd still be as dominant?
Oh, well, as dominant, they wouldn't be as dominant. But I think if in game 1 of this year, Steph Curry blew his ACL.
And he was out.
And he was out for the year. I think going into game 2, the Warriors still would have been the Vegas favorites. But that was before we knew what we know about Houston. Like, the other part of this is how
Houston
great
has-
Houston has been.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a little bit different because you have the whole season develop a different style for Golden State.
Right.
So it's hard to make that comparison because he is coming back, and they would be a different team.
So your hesitation about the Warriors is not so much that Steph's not in it, is that that whole offense runs around Steph Curry, and they don't have enough time right now to game plan an entirely new offense if you don't think he's going to be 100%.
None of the teams, the top two teams in the East, the top two teams in the West, none of those teams can afford to lose a starter, let alone someone like Steph Curry. Like, I think that we're just losing sight of how good these players are. Steph's not healthy. Wow, that's going to drastically affect the Warriors. Harden, if he wasn't healthy, it would drastically affect Houston.
But the reason that people feel differently about the Warriors is none of those other teams, and in fact no other team in the history of the league, has as their second option an MVP.
It doesn't matter. In this, it's still not enough talent to win a championship. That's the reason why they went out and got KD.
I agreed, which is why if we knew Steph was out for the year, out for the playoffs, this would not surprise me. But the fact that people are now wondering, is it enough talent to even get to the conference finals? Do you need a fully healthy Steph Curry to get through rounds 1 and rounds 2? That's crazy to me.
I just think we shouldn't analyze, oh, they have 4 All-Stars, they have Hall of Famers. I don't believe that. When you have someone who runs the team, if Chris Paul was not available, what we think Houston's chances were? They got no chance. All right, so how would we be able to lose the point guard, Damian Lillard? They got no chance. They might not have a chance with Damian Lillard, but when you lose the guy who runs your offense, the most prolific offense that we have seen, especially in this 4-year window that they played, they don't have enough time to adjust to that.
All right, let's break there. Guess what? The NFL draft is coming up. Is Josh Rosen too much of a millennial to be successful?
What
The
about all the
NFL is
other
a
millennials
quarterback.
playing in the league?
Somebody thinks
Everyone
so.
in the league's a
That's
millennial.
next. First, everything's in your court.
Everyone older than Aaron Rodgers is a